So we're back. Well, I'm back only for a solo episode of the pod. And let's get it started. So Monday Night Raw was in Barcelona, Spain, or somewhere. I don't know. It was overseas. Whatever. So I'm thinking, hey, they hyped up this thing for, hey, we're going to have this John Cena thing. We're hyping it up. It's going to happen. And it's the first thing on a fucking show. And it was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, they're doing it. They're going right to the John Cena thing. So John comes out and he's about to talk. People are booing him. Then he's about to say something again. And then he gets booed again. Then he acts like he's going to leave. They cheer. And then John comes back and says, you know, I'm in a toxic relationship. I'm in a toxic relationship with all of you. He said, for 25 years, you guys have hated me. Had fucking hated me. I've done everything I can for you, and it was never enough. He was like, every time something happens, it's let's go Cena. Cena sucks. He was like, it's a toxic relationship. And you know what? I'm breaking up with you. So there were some people who were upset about this because they're like, oh, he didn't mention The Rock. He didn't say anything about why he joined The Rock. But this does justify him going heel because, like, he even said he's not a heel, he's not a face, he's just a guy. And everyone before this had said the same exact thing was John Cena is justified if he comes out and says, the reason I did this was because of you fans. And when he came out and did it, it meant more because he was really serious about it. Like, he was really in his feelings. Like, you motherfuckers fucking made me this way. You made me this angry. You made me do this. At the end, when I said I'm ready to leave, you cheered. He was like, you get nothing. He said, even the people who fake supported me, he was like, you did nothing. He was like, what? He was like, you did nothing for me. He's like, what is it? Like, you're just riding off what I did. And it was like, okay. Like, to me, I actually loved it. I loved it. What I didn't love was Cody coming out and going, whoever this person is, I don't like him. And if this person comes to WrestleMania, I'm going to steamroll over him. I want the old John Cena back. That is the worst thing Cody could do. That was the worst thing that Cody could do. When Cody said, I want the old John Cena back, I don't want this whiny bitch, I was like, and then I thought about it, I was like, oh shit. And the reason I said oh shit is because anybody that knows John Cena knows that he will fucking wreck you on the mic. Roman Reigns got wrecked on a mic when Roman was supposed to be, quote unquote, the guy. He got wrecked by John Cena to the point where it was like, hey, we're going to have John Cena versus Roman Reigns. I was like, I don't know. John came out and cut that promo and made Roman forget his fucking lines. I was like, oh, he fucking murdered Roman. So that John Cena, that's the one he wants to go verbally back to back with. Nah, fam. I'm sorry. Cody. You just asked him to get fucked. So then we had the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day's in the back, and they're talking, and Finn is getting ready for the Intercontinental Championship match. And he said, like, he's saying stuff, and Dom's like, hey, I got an idea for somebody to join the Judgment Day. And he goes, who is it? He goes, Penta. And Finn's like, no, not that guy. That guy wants my title. He's like, there's no new members. And he keeps saying no new members. And I swear to God, whoever the member is going to fuck Finn up. And that's going to be him in Dom's program. So then we have Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser in a street fight. This was fucking dope. Penta was super over. Super over. Everybody loved him. Penta got the win. He beat Ludwig Kaiser. And then we had Ivy Nile versus Dakota Kai. And Ivy lost again. I don't know what the fuck I don't know where this is going. I have no idea where this is going. Ivy lost again. Like, I know that they were trying to build her up for Lyra Valkyria, who just, like, mysteriously disappeared, which she should be wrestling most of this fucking show because Lyra Valkyria is from Europe. Like, she should be on these fucking shows, but hey, whatever. I don't know. I'm fucking just, whatever. So then we had the contract signing between Io Shirai and Bianca Belair. They both signed a contract. They talk a little shit to each other. Then Rhea comes out and beats both of their asses and puts her name on the contract. And Adam Pearce is like, no, like, you can't do that. And she just walked away with the contract. So that was that. Then we had Jey Uso. And Jey Uso came out and he fought Austin Theory. He beat Austin Theory in seconds. Gunther came out and beat the shit out of Jey. Jey got the better of him, held up the title. So they set up next week is going to be Jey Uso and a mystery partner versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I'm just throwing this out there. It would be funny as shit if the tag team partner was Gunther. So that's just me. Then we had the tag match, American Made versus Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. And then all of a sudden, Americana Grande showed up and took out Rey. So that looks like that's the WrestleMania program. So all that means is there needs to be a third man on Rey and Dragon Lee's side to go against American Made. So then we had Seth Rollins come out. And Seth Rollins comes out and says, hey, I see that it's going to be CM Punk and it's going to be Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Well, I guess I'm going to have to go to SmackDown. All right, guys, thank you. And he just walks the fuck off. I was like, the fuck was the point? There was no point. So then we get AJ Styles, and he's talking about facing Logan Paul. But then all of a sudden, here comes Karrion Kross. And Kross is like basically trying to corrupt AJ Styles again. And AJ's like, this isn't going to work on me. And then Scarlett was like, yeah, this is working. So I don't know where this is going, but hopefully Karrion Kross has something fun to do and not just sit in the back. Like, I actually want to see him wrestle. Like, he's been more into everything than anybody can imagine. And that's crazy. Like, he is, like, if you ever pay attention to him, he has linked up all of the bad stuff that has happened around WWE. It's all been Karrion Kross. And it would be really funny if, like, one day everybody just dips on Karrion Kross because he's just like the devil. He's just the devil. And that's really fucked up. So then we get the main event. Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor for the IC title. And they're going at it. Then Dom and the rest of Judgment Day come out. And Braun fucks up Carlito. And then all of a sudden, Finn is about to go for the finish. Braun fucking, like, gets pushed down by Dominic. Dominic hits the rope, crotches Finn. Finn's crotch. Braun Breaker hits the fucking Frankensteiner on Finn, fucks up Dom, and then 1, 2, 3 pins Finn. And then Judgment Day dips on Braun, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Penta to save his ass because Penta said earlier in the show that he wanted to be IC champion. So because Penta saved Braun, that moves on to their IC feud, which I've been waiting for months. Because if you guys listen to the podcast, months ago, I literally said, this is where this is going. I said, it's going right here. This is where this is going. You guys, it's happening. And people was like, no, it's not. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Even I was like, they're going to do this. They're going to do that. But now it's looking like it's going to be Penta versus Braun Breaker at the pay-per-view. So we'll see where that goes. So then we also had Dynamite. Dynamite was in somewhere, and it snowed. It fucking snowed. And it fucked up a lot of travel for a lot of people. So the crazy part was it fucked up travel for a lot of people, but the people who were involved in everything in the show, it didn't fuck up shit for them because they all showed up. It was fucking crazy. So we had a four-way. The winner of the four-way gets to face Kenny Omega. And the four-way was Orange Cassidy, Mark Davis, Ricochet, and Mike Bailey. And this was a good four-way. And Mike Bailey gets the pin on Mark Davis. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ricochet gets on top of them and puts his feet on the ropes. So Mike Bailey has a backslide on Mark Davis. And Ricochet gets behind and rolls up Mark Davis's legs with his feet on the ropes. Which technically, Ricochet got the 1-2-3, but also fucking Speedball Mike Bailey gets the pin. So Speedball and Ricochet are now in a three-way with Kenny Omega, which is going to be fucking awesome. That match is going to be fucking awesome. I was kind of leaning to it, okay, we're going to do the Ricochet match. But when they said all of them, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Then we had Billy Starks versus Mercedes Moné. Oh my God, this match was great. This match was fucking great. I was like, this is so fucking awesome. Like, Billy and Mercedes were going in. They were kicking ass. Mercedes was the best that she ever been. Billy Starks hits a victory roll driver, and Mercedes gets her foot on the ropes. So Mercedes winds up turning her around. All of a sudden, she gets the bank statement on her. 1, 2, she taps out. It's over. Mercedes wins. There's a little bit more on that. We're going to get to that a little later. So then we had MJF in the back. And MJF is like, yeah. He's like, I need friends. He's like, yeah, it's no secret. I need friends. But he's like, I'm going to address MVP in the Hurt Business next week. And soon as MJF said, I need friends, I knew exactly where this was going. Because earlier this week, Hammerstone is out of his TNA contract. Because Hammerstone's out of his TNA contract, he's free to go. And also, I don't know where he's at, but hopefully he's doing well. Richard Holiday. Richard Holiday could be somewhere laying around. And this goes back 2 years when the fucking copyright popped up. I literally said, it would be kind of cool if the Dynasty was in AEW. And it looks like, because what MJF said, the way he alluded, it looks like we're going to get the Dynasty in AEW. I'm cool with that. Them going against the Hurt Locker business, I'll be okay with that, but I'll just be happy to see the Dynasty in AEW. So then, in a weird turn of events, we had the world title match in the middle of the show, the street fight, between Moxley and Cope. And this match was wild. And the funny part about it is, there's discourse online, but not the same usual discourse as something we get of this magnitude. Because Moxley got suplexed on Spike. And Spike was stuck in his back. Usually, the discourse is something like this. People will be like, oh my God, this is so gross. People are they're kind of desensitized to it now. They're like, oh, okay, whatever. And the people that I don't like this sentiment of when people are actually like, dude, I didn't like that. That was too violent for me. And people go, oh, you're just a bitch. Moxley's hardcore. Wrestling is supposed to be hardcore. You wouldn't have survived back in the day when stuff was really hardcore. You're an asshole. You just saying stuff. And I always go back to this because if you've listened to this podcast before, I always go back to this when I see something super violent in AEW. I always say, I go to GCW for that. I go to CZW for that. I go to other things for that. I do not go to AEW going, oh, I want to see violence. I want to see this level of violence. And yes, I have a right to do this. I've seen Zandig get hung from the CZW arena, aka the ECW arena, get hung by fucking hooks. And he just got hung up there by his back in hooks. And blood is just pouring off this fucking man. And it's like, I was in the arena that night. I watched it live. I seen him get hung by hooks and blood just coming down. That's violence. Like, that's ultra violence. That's what CZW was. All types of shit like that was crazy. GCW, the same. Dude, I fucking get it. I fucking get it. I grew up in the ECW era. I literally grew up in the ECW era. Dude, I fucking get it. I fucking get it that wrestling can be violent. Yes, there's a time and place for it. It's fucking beautiful when it happens. Sometimes it's like great. Sometimes it's magical. When you're a mainstream promotion, I'm like, okay, I don't want to see the violence of the mainstream promotion. I want to see them do wrestling. Yes, they could do some crazy shit. Yes, they could do this. Yes, they could do that. The crazy violent shit, like the spikes in the back, I'm just like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that in a mainstream promotion. Like, when I want to watch GCW and somebody go through glass, I want to watch GCW. If I want to see somebody get really fucked up, I'll watch CZW. I want to see violence when I want to see violence. If I'm sitting there watching fucking AEW, I'm like, I don't want to see violence. I want to see somebody do some cool ass fucking moves. I want to do some crazy spots. I want to see fucking matches that I haven't seen before. That's what I want. That's what I want. I'm not here for the super violence here. Like, and when it happens, like, it can happen very sparingly. Like, oh, it happened here. Okay, cool. It happened here. Okay, cool. When it's just like, this is just like, it wasn't needed, and it's like, why did you do that? I don't like it. Like, I don't like it. Yes, I love super violence, but I love it when I want to love it. I don't just want it to be thrown in here like, oh, here it goes. It's like, well, shit, I don't really care for that right now, but all right, whatever. On a fucking Wednesday night, I'm not looking forward to it. So it happened, and I'm like, well, I don't like it. And somebody out there is going to say, well, it's not for you. And it's like, I just explain when I like the violence? It's just like, there's a time and place for it, and I just didn't feel like this was it. So that's my take on it. I really don't give a fuck how anybody feels, because this is my feeling, so I don't give a fuck what you feel. Because you can feel the way you feel, but when I'm saying how I feel, I'm justified because these are my feelings. You have feelings too. You feel a way too. This is just me saying it out of my mouth. So I really don't give a fuck what you feel, because these are my feelings. Like, you can say, oh, you're soft, whatever, and I just explained to you why I'm not, but whatever. Like, who gives a shit? This is just how I feel about shit. All right, whatever. I'm getting back to the show. So FTR comes out to help Cope, and Cash almost fucking kills himself with a fucking dive. And then Nick Wayne and Skip Sabian come out and distract Cope. Cope gets hit with the Wayne's World, and then Mox just chokes him out. Mox chokes him out, and it's over. And then Cash and Willow are trying to help up Cope, and Dax just says, fuck it, and just leaves. Didn't even help him up. Dax just fucking leaves, and Cash is like, yo, what the fuck? And he was like, nope, and he just leaves. And apparently on Twitter, this is all storyline, by the way, Dax is not happy. Dax is not happy with Cope. And he's mad that Cope is like not better than what he is, and he looked up to Cope or whatever. He's just not happy with it. And like, I understand that, because like there's been like little heels sentiments from Dax over the last couple of weeks. And it's like, all right, Dax is turning. I'm cool with FTR turning. I don't want to see them split. I'm sorry. I don't want to see them split. I love them as a tag team, and it would hurt me if they split. So then we get Bandito, and he's pissed off, and he wants to fight Chris Jericho. He's like, Jericho, I want to beat your ass for what you did. You made my mom cry, and I never want to see my mom cry. He was like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And all of a sudden, John Morrison just comes out of nowhere and says, hey, you should fight me on Collision. And Bandito was like, okay. He literally was just like, okay. And that's exactly what he said. So they're going to fight on Collision. Then we had AR Fox versus Will Ospreay. This was a good match, and Will is playing up that his hip is hurt from the fight with Kyle Fletcher. Now, I'm going with this thing. And like because the way he played it up was like his hips hurt, I'm like, okay, I see an angle here. Because I feel like this is what's gonna happen. He's going to play up this angle and everybody's gonna be like, oh shit, Will's hurt. Will's hurt. And he's going to go into Owen injured, and people will be like, oh shit, Will may not make it. Will may not make it. And Will's going to go through the whole thing, but he's going to be quote unquote hurt the whole time. And like that's gonna give him the advantage and give people the advantage of looking at him like, damn, like Will may not make it. And then he just pulls out a banger and you're like, oh shit. And then he does it again, like, oh shit. And he's gonna feel like the underdog because he's gonna be injured. Cause like, first off, Will going into the tournament and saying he's the first one in and he wants the title, you're immediately like, oh, Will Ospreay's winning this. Now with him being injured, it gives you a shred of doubt. Now you're doubting this. You're doubting Will Ospreay is going to go through the tournament. You're not like 100% sold like when he said it. You're doubting it now because he's injured. And for me, that just means he's definitely going to fucking all in and taking on Moxley and winning the title. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like this injury to me is just a 100% lock. Like if I was going to bet money, I'm be like, all right, I'm putting money on Will to go to All In and run through this tournament. That's what I'm feeling. So speaking of the tournament, Renee winds up interviewing Hangman, and Hangman says, yo, I'm going to deal with MJF when I deal with MJF. But you know what? I'm going into Owen, and I'm going to go get the title. So now, we got Hangman, and if they do this right, we're going to have a fucking classic. We're going to have a fucking classic if they do this right. Because what I'm expecting for them to do this right is I'm expecting them to start loading up big names. It's going to be Hangman. It's probably going to be MJF, Will Ospreay, like Ricochet. It's going to be a bunch of the big names. In the tournament before, it's like one or two big names mixed with everybody else in this tournament. This, I feel like they're going to do such a huge names in this tournament that this tournament is going to feel special. It's going to feel big. And you're going to be like, oh shit, this tournament is, I don't know who to pick. I know who I'm picking. I'm just sticking to Will, and that's where I'm going from there. Everything else is like, whatever. So, like I said, it's going to be big. It's going to be a big tournament, especially if they put these people in there. So then we get a Mercedes Moné promo. And Renee's talking to her about beating Billy Starks, and she said, who trained her? Her mentor sucks. Like, her trainer sucks. And it's like, bingo. We know exactly where this is going. It's going right there. And then Fightful broke the story, and Fightful said, it's happening. Athena versus Mercedes is happening, and it could happen as soon as Dynasty. Dude, banger. Like, 5-star match already. Like, you don't even have to get to the match. The match is 5 stars already. Athena finally getting on the main show, and she's going against fucking Mercedes. Yep. Banger. It's just a fucking banger. It's a classic. You don't even need to have this match. It's a fucking classic. It's over. So then we get to the main event. And the main event of the show was Chris Statlander versus Megan Bayne. This match was better than I expected. This match was fucking good. They were beating the shit out of each other. This match was really good. And Megan Bayne beats Chris Statlander. Match is over. Tony is doing commentary. And in the match, Megan threw Chris Statlander into Tony Storm. So now Tony is like, she's pissed off. And we have Tony just jump in the ring and start beating the shit out of Chris Statlander and basically says, Chris, me and you, we're having a date, and the date is at Dynasty. So it's going to be at Dynasty, Tony Storm versus Megan Bayne for the women's championship. And yes, a lot of people, myself included, is like, she hasn't put in the work to get the title match, but fuck it. That's all I can say is fuck it. Just let it happen. Like it's going to be all right. Just fuck it, let it happen. Like I'm not even mad at it. Like there's nothing to be mad at. It's just like fuck it, let it happen. I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with it. I have no problems with it. But yeah, she got there really fast. Was like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. So we go to NXT and we start off with Sol Ruka versus Chelsea Green for the US title. And I honestly thought this match could have been a little bit better. Just saying. And Sol got distracted a bunch of times and Chelsea beat her. But I really thought this match could have been a little bit better. I'm sorry. Like, and Sol's really good and Chelsea's good. I just felt like this match just didn't hit. So then we have a backstage thing. And I'm so invested in this because I literally, the writing was on the wall that things were going to go one way. It's like, oh, this is going one way. It's going to happen. Then something else happens and it's like, wait a minute. What is going on here? Like, because I'm like, whatever's happening at Stand and Deliver, I'm confused. And I will tell you why I'm confused. So we have a backstage with Trick and Javon. And Javon's like, yo, listen. Yo, I just want to say whatever from last week, and you were right. And Trick said, you know what? It doesn't even matter. He was like, you'll never be a championship. You'll never be on my level. And Javon was like, dude, like he's like, whatever, get out of my face. And Trick walks out, and then Lexis King walks in, and Lexis is like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. And Javon just punches him in the face, which sets up a Heritage Cup match next week. Now, that little interaction between Trick and Javon has me going, okay. And I like, in my mind, I start fantasy booking. I'm like, okay, he's going to go this way. By the end of the show, I was like, I don't know anymore. I was like, that's how I felt. I was like, I don't know anymore. So then we had Stephanie Vicker. And she came on and she was talking and she said, English is my second language. Wrestling is my first. And I could have picked any promotion. I could have been anywhere. But I wound up coming to NXT because I wanted to prove I was the best. So we had Patrick Starr come out. Oh, that was Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace came out dressed like Patrick Starr. And she is about to call out Stephanie. And I'm like, okay, we're getting the Stand to Deliver announcement here. But then Jada Parker attacks Jordan Grace and comes in the ring and says, Stephanie, I want to face you because you said the first person that stepped up to you gets a title shot. And I'm here stepping up to you. So basically they set up a match for Jada and Stephanie. Then we get Tank and Hank. And Tank and Hank are going, hey, we need to show who we are. We need to go out there. We need to have this tag match. We need to do this. Yeah. And they're all hyped up. And I'm like, okay, I really hate these guys. Like, they're really fucking annoying. So Hank and Tank takes on Briggs and Inamura. And Inamura pins Tank. And now I'm just like, okay, Tank and Hank are going heel. They're definitely going heel. And I'm usually like, oh yeah, like when somebody gets a heel turn, I'm like, oh, that's going to be cool. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about Tank and Hank. I'm really pissed off. Like, I don't give a fuck about Tank and Hank. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I do not give a fuck about them. So then we get Eddie Thorpe, and he's talking to Ridge Holland. And they both say that, like, they have a similar thing, and, like, they're tired of people in this business. They're tired of stuff, and they got each other's back. Yeah, I got your back. Cool. Okay. So we have the Culling versus the Family. And this match was really fucking good. And Luca Crucifino was a fucking star in this match. Him and Stacks were showing the fuck off. I was like, holy shit, they're really fucking good. The only reason the Family lost is because Vengeance, I'm going to tell you their name later on, but Vengeance came in and attacked Tony D'Angelo, who was in the back, and they showed it on the screen, and the Family got stuck, was like, no! And then the Culling beat him. So Stephanie Vaquer is talking to Ava, and they're setting up the match for next week. And then Fallon comes in and was like, what's up with my North American title? And Ava's like, dude, we talked about this already. She's like, well, what about my North American title? And then Stephanie goes, I'll give her a title match. And Ava's like, well, fuck it. Next week is going to be Stephanie versus Fallon and also Stephanie versus Jada. So Stephanie has to defend the title twice next week. So, we're gonna see some shit. We might see a title change. But probably not, but might. So we have JC Jane versus Kamara Petrovich. And Ashanti is trying to get Kamara to cheat. He actually even slides a chair in the ring. And Kamara's like, no. And she gets distracted. JC beats her. So Tank and Hank bump into Ty and Ty. And Ty starts talking shit to them. And furthermore, looking like Hank and Tank are going to turn heels. But, like, to me, I just, like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Like, we'll see how the heel turn goes. But I'm not really feeling the heel turn for Tank and Hank. It is what it is. So Jada is like cutting a promo talking about how she's going to beat Stephanie next week. And we see in the background Kamara Petrovich arguing with Ashanti the Adonis. And she pushes him and basically tells him, get the fuck out of here. So we have Ricky Saints versus Ridge Holland. And Ricky gets the win on Ridge Holland. And it is what it is. Like, it's not a big deal. I heard some people say, oh, Ricky Saints isn't killing it like he was before. Like, I've seen better matches. And it's like, it's Ridge Holland. Nothing against Ridge. It's just Ridge Holland. Like, if you put Ricky in there against somebody else who we'll get to in a few minutes, it'll be good. This is just like, whatever. It's nothing standing out here. So then we get the four guys, no mask on, and they showing their face, and they're called Dark State. What? That's the best you could come up with? Dark State? That's the best you could come up with? Okay. Like, that's all I can say. Is like, that's the best you could come up with. So we get Ricky Saint, and he's in the back, and the Culling comes up and starts talking shit to him. And Izzy Dane starts saying something about how Ricky Saint comes up short. And Ricky says, I don't come up short where it counts. And soon as he hit that line, the crowd went crazy. And my mind just went back to the very first podcast we had where we watched him in NWA Power. And I just was like, Ricky is a younger version of The Rock. That was a smooth rock line. And it was like, it just hit me and I'm like, yeah, he's got it. He's got it. He is like a younger version of The Rock. I was like, he has it. And Sean Spears said something to him and he said, yeah, no, I'm going to kick your ass. So it's setting up for the U.S. title match, well, North American title match at the pay-per-view. So he's definitely beating him for that title. I'm sorry, like, you can't have Sean Spears with that title for much longer. He has to lose it to Ricky Saint. And it's nothing against Sean Spears. It's just Ricky Saint is Ricky Saint. So then we had NXT Underground. And it's Eddie Thorpe versus Trick. Trick beats Eddie Thorpe. He beats the shit out of Eddie Thorpe. He wins. Then he calls out Oba. Oba comes out, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Javon Evans. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So Oba just pushes Javon. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And Deep State comes out of nowhere. And so Oba and Trick start fighting. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Javon Evans hits a cutter on Oba and lays him the fuck out. And he stands face to face with Trick. And I'm like, okay. I'm happy, but I'm also confused. I'm happy that we're getting a three-way. Javon's going to be in a three-way. But I am thinking Javon Evans is part of Deep State. Is either he's part of Deep State or he's... Because this is weird. It's one or two. It's either Trick is the leader or Javon's the leader. And the reason that I'm more leaning into Javon is because everybody in Deep State... Well, not everybody. Just like Deion Lennox. They have told him over and over and over again, you will never do anything. You will never be anything. You won't get nothing. And they're taking their spots. They're taking. So here's the thing about them taking. They want to take stuff because people said that they couldn't have things. Who is the other person that they said couldn't have things? Who is the other person that they said couldn't have things? Because it was one more person that they said couldn't be a champion. You couldn't win anything. You can't do nothing. You can't this. You can't that. There's one person, and that one person is Javon Evans. I think if they have this triple threat, there's a huge percentage that they're going to have Javon win because of Deep State. Like, Trick could go to the main roster. Oba could go to the main roster. It's perfectly fine for Javon to be the champion and be the heel. Like, imagine this. Javon is like the heel champion, and he's running roughshod with his homies, which are Deep State. And I know somebody's like, well, Deep State attacked him last week, so that doesn't count. You know how many times someone has been attacked but been a part of a group? It's been a billion times. This is not something that's easily contended. Like, there's been times when people's like, oh, I'm getting jumped. Fucking Eric Bischoff got jumped by the NWO and was the leader of the NWO. And it's like, yeah, it's there. It's possible. It's very, very possible. So that's the thing. So I'm kind of leading to Javon being that guy. Javon is going to be the guy who leads the crew. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not even mad. Him with the championship, everybody else going to main, I'm okay with it. I'm 1,000% okay with it. So that was this week in wrestling. As far as the SmackDown goes, SmackDown is going to be on very early, but also Collision is going to be on very weird times. We do have all of the spoilers for Collision, so if we do a SmackDown show, I will definitely throw in the Collision spoilers. But if we don't do a SmackDown show and we don't do the Collision stuff, next week we'll talk about it. But we'll see how it goes, because I don't want to just record a very light episode of, oh, it's just SmackDown and that's it. Because I could give you the spoilers now, but I'm like, I don't want to just do that. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how things go after SmackDown. We'll see. So yeah, that is it for this episode of the podcast, and we'll see you later.